Boys want to see something?
Do we have a choice?
No.
When we talk about games, TV shows, or media that we like here at the Ramen Spot, and we want to give recommendations, we try to do it in a way that gives you something more to consider than just a number. To me, when I look at someone talking about a game they're passionate about in a YouTube video, what I'm really looking for is what's important to them, and what specifically about the game speaks to them personally. But some people only want to know a score, like if 10 is a perfect game and 1 is absolute trash, where does this game fit in? So we do try and be helpful and give that score, but we are asked a lot, why do we give out scores the way we do? For example, in our most recent recap video, we talked glowingly about The Bear, a TV show the world is in love with right now. In fact, if you listen to our review, we had nothing but good things to say about it. And then we gave our score, which was a 9. Some friends are confused, asking how did we come up with a 9 if the show is so good? Let me break it down for you. Since there are 2 of us, each of us can give a piece of media up to a 5. How each of us determines how many points we give is different. Fox gave The Bear a 5 because to her the show is perfect entertainment and works on every level. I gave it a 4 because I totally agree, the show is great in every way. So why didn't I give it a 5? Put simply, I always reserve my last point for the message. For those stories, whether it be in movies, TV, games, whatever, those stories that endeavor to educate as much as entertain. Everybody has something that's really important to them, and this is that thing for me. Having a message is not important at all to some people. You can tell who because they use the phrase shoved down our throats a lot. They see a game with a female protagonist or a movie with a predominantly non-white cast and feel like they're being attacked or replaced, and that they need to defend themselves by yelling into the void about how non-binary animated X-Men characters are ruining their childhood or something, I don't know. They want all education, actual historical fact, or forward thinking and ideas out of anything they consider entertainment. But, as you can probably guess, that's not us at all. Fox is a different story, and if she wants to tell you her view in her words at some other point in time, she will. But I can tell you my story, and I'm pretty sure some of you can relate. See, I grew up in America. Right away, that comes with a ton of baggage. I went to a public school, and I had cool-ass teachers that were paid way too little and were given a curriculum to teach that was focused on a lot of what, but not a lot of how or why. For example, you might learn that America was founded by pilgrims who got on ships, floated over to a new land, and set up a settlement where they were free to live with the traditional values that they loved. And then they built this great country with hard work. That's a cool story, bro, but how? Like, who was there when the pilgrims got there? Where are those people today? And who exactly did the hard work that built the country? Everyone knows this, right? Fast forward a few hundred years later and the same manipulation is still happening. As a kid in school today, laws are created to force teachers to leave out the specifics of the slave trade and all the brutality and murder and oppression that came with it, and even after it was abolished. Those descendants of families whose fortune was made on the backs of the forced labor of others would rather not be made uncomfortable by being forced to remember exactly how violent the building of America actually was. And so they use the government to ban books that teach about it. They threaten teachers with jail time. They want to ban social media and video games. Your school is embracing understanding and fellowship by flying a pride flag? Oh hell no, change that law. The library offers books that feature queer characters. How about you offer them some jail time instead? This is a highly simplified breakdown of a long and complicated and vicious method of control. Controlling kids means controlled adults. That's the goal here. So as a kid, or young adult, or even just an adult, with all these people working to make sure you can't learn about what actual history is or any real ideas about how to make society better for everyone, what are you supposed to do? How will those ideas get to those who need it? The answer is simple and ancient and has been around since people have been able to communicate with each other. Stories. Stories, myths, legends, all of these have been what people have used to pass on knowledge of history and ideas. In ancient times, the Greek myth of Icarus entertained listeners as it was an exciting story about an inventor and his son and how they hoped to fly on wings made of wax. Icarus was warned not to fly too close to the sun, but in his excitement he did anyway, and the wax melted and he fell into the ocean and died. Like all great art, the lesson is open to interpretation, but it may have helped many listeners over the thousands of years it's been told to be more cautious and better prepared when attempting to do something they haven't done before. It's no different now just because it's 2024. Movies, TV, and video games are how a lot of us get our stories now, but the potential they have to teach us new things has never changed. If you ask anyone who has seen the movie Boyz n the Hood what that movie is about, you'll probably hear about young black people in the early 90s growing up around a lot of violence. And that's true. The movie is very blunt and violent, as life was in these communities at the time, and still is in a lot of cases. I saw this movie as a child, and most of the subtleties went way over my head because I was too young at the time to understand most of what I was looking at. Yeah, the movie had gangsters that people thought were cool, in the same ways that older generations thought cowboys were cool. But the scene of the movie that stuck out to me most then, and with each subsequent viewing as I grew up, was the scene where Lawrence Fishburne literally takes a break from the movie to educate the audience on gentrification.
Why don't y'all take a look at that sign up there? See what it says? Cash for your home? You know what that is? It's called gentrification. To bring the property value down. They can buy the land at a lower price. Then they move all the people out, raise the property value, and sell it at a profit. You go out to Beverly Hills, you don't see that shit.
I had no idea what this was when I first saw it. They didn't teach anything like it in school, and nobody I knew had any idea either. But that was exactly the point. It was so important for the filmmakers to put there, specifically because it was affecting these people in the audience's lives, people like me, and we had no idea. We still didn't after this part of the movie flew over our heads, but the seed was planted. The mission was a success. Over the years, I would learn more and more about the ways a businessman, and I say that with quotation marks, can hustle people into a slum, let them build it up, talk them into buying the newly reformed land from them, and then sell it at a profit once they're all gone. Seems a lot like slavery, doesn't it? It's robbery and they know it, but they do it in a way that makes it seem like they are doing you a favor. That's crazy, right? On the gaming side, everyone knows the work of Hideo Kojima. The man has been pushing storytelling in video games forward for the last 40 years, so it's kinda hard not to recognize his style and influence. He's always attempted to blend messages of real-world significance, such as warning about the dangers of nuclear armaments and private military companies in his Metal Gear series, or how the human experience is shared and connected and that we need each other to survive, as he did in the Death Stranding series. Kojima's work is respected both among players of his games and creators in the film and gaming industries because he takes the time to give you something real and significant to think about as he entertains. The games that we talk about on this channel range wildly in genre and how each individual game chooses to tell its story, but the one thing that every one of them that I highly recommend has in common is that I learned from each of them. I feel like that's what separates something that I really like from something that I love, like Horizon Forbidden West. It's the difference between eating empty calories that might taste good but really isn't doing anything for you beyond that, and eating a real full meal that provides nourishment for both body and soul. This is also why a game like Tears of the Kingdom doesn't really move me at all. I've tried to like it, I have. Fox knows it's taken me a year just to make it out of the tutorial area. I hear the internet as a whole talk about how much they love the music and the animation and the vibe and the atmosphere, and I feel you on that. On those levels, it's amazing. But with an audience of so many millions, what does Nintendo endeavor to teach? What knowledge are Nintendo's writers and creators trying to pass on to future generations? As far as I can tell, nothing. It's entertainment for entertainment's sake. Eye candy. Empty calories. Going back to where this all started, let's talk about that final point that I didn't give the bear. The show is great, as I've said, but what it's great at is depicting the characters and situations they are in. It shows the what, and in a couple of flashbacks, maybe even the why, and it's entertaining, sure. But what can you learn from this? What can you take away from this story into the real world, into your own life? We've all seen what the world is like now, with misinformation or the erasure of history happening right before our eyes in real time. You can ignore it if you choose to, but you can't escape it. A moral lesson or moment of truth in a story someone loves may help change a bigot into someone with empathy and understanding. Or maybe it will encourage curiosity in someone who goes on to learn more about the world for themselves. Maybe because of those messages in the story they love, they become better people and lead better lives, and the people that they reach out to and help do the same for others, and so on. These messages can really and truly change the course of some people's lives. The story of the bear hasn't attempted this yet, and who knows, maybe it will in the future, or maybe it's just happy being entertainment for entertainment's sake and it never will. That's okay if that's what you're looking for in your stories, but that's not me. I'm looking to learn something new about life, and when I find it, that's what is perfection to me. What do you guys think? Sorry about the long wait. As we said in the community post a few weeks back, something last minute and really big in our real lives outside of content creation came up, and our grand plan about how we make our videos this year has to change for a while. Let's take just a bit and chat about our channel for a sec. One of the big goals I had for this year was to do hand-drawn art for every thumbnail. I really like doing it, and I need to get back into doing it regularly to get my skills back, so it seemed like a win-win, right? But with the big event taking up so much of our time, I can't do the art for the thumbs anymore. It may not seem like it, but that art takes a long time to make, and if we're going to put out any videos at all, that has to be on the back burner for now. The other big thing was the schedule. We really committed to one video every week, no excuses. But we can't commit to that either now, so for the time being, releases will be a little slower and the edits a little less complex. We still have a lot we want to talk about, and we hope you guys will come discuss with us as we want to hear from you guys too.
From both of us here at the Ramen Spot, we want to share our thanks for spending a little time with us. We'll have much more to share very soon, so don't forget to subscribe. See you later!